hip strength. Do you think you're strong in your hips?
Oh gosh. I feel like this is a trick question. Yes.
Okay.
I say with zero confidence, but yes.
Well, we'll find out.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about hip strength.
Okay.
And the gluteals. So the gluteals are those big muscles here. You have three. You have the maximus, the medius, and the minimus. And they keep you stable. And I like to think of
Are they all here?
They're all there.
Okay.
You got them layered right in that area.
All right.
It's a big muscle group.
Yeah.
Huge.
Okay.
All right. So I like to think of them being like a seesaw.
Okay.
All right. And your body has to balance. Every time you stand on one leg to take a step, the gluteal muscles balance out the rest of your body. And remember when you were on a seesaw and you try to move out so that you and your friends could balance, and then just to be mean you'd scoot back or forward to make your friend fly up in the air. All right, well, see, I was not a nice kid, but anyway, so if you stand and these aren't strong, you actually have to move your body a little bit. And I know you've seen people that walk like this. All right, and that's because
all the time.
If you move your body over the hip that is weak or has pain, it actually zeroes out the force that your muscles have to contract. It's fascinating. Yeah. So when I see people like that, I feel like handing them my car, but I don't.
You need to strengthen your glutes.
Yes, you do. So they're really the stabilizers, and if they aren't strong, you have little muscles that are real deep in there that go to work.
Okay.
To make up the difference. And the problem is those muscles aren't meant to do that. So they can go into spasms. You may have heard of piriformis syndrome, which we'll talk about sometime. And that's because you're just not strong here. So you might fix the piriformis, but if you don't strengthen the gluteals, it's going to come back.
So on that note, a lot of patients I work with say they just want to sit on a tennis ball or rub right in this area. That might be because their glutes are weak.
Yep.
And the deeper, smaller muscles are working too hard.
Yep.
So if you feel that might be an indication you need to work the glutes.
Totally, that's great. Yep. Okay, so they stabilize you.
Yes.
They can get weak, and I guess I don't know exactly why they get weak. I mean, I've seen marathon runners.
Yeah, you're right.
And part of the problem is when you run, everything's this
forward,
way.
right.
And the gluteals really work to stabilize you to the side.
Yeah.
When you're standing to the side, so your exercises have to be.
And we just don't do that much functionally during the day, side to side. Right. So unless if you're like an ice skater or something, and we might not work these naturally.
They have strong glutes.
They do have strong glutes. That is true.
All right. So how do you know if your gluteals are weak? And this is a tough test, and I want you to watch carefully. All right, because I'm going to have Dana do the test.
I feel like now I'm being put on the spot. Okay.
All right,
what am I supposed to do?
What I'm going to look at is her hips. So put your hands like this.
Okay.
Right on your hip bones.
Okay.
All right. And what she's going to do is lift one leg out to the side and try to keep the hip level. All right. Keep going. Keep going. You're doing great. You're doing great. And then she needs to hold that. You're doing perfectly. Hold it.
Ooh.
And then stop. Okay. You did it long enough. It should be 10 seconds. Hopefully my head wasn't in the way. Okay. Show them what somebody who's weak would do.
I'm going to do my other side because I think my other side's weak.
Okay,
and I bet I don't do this well.
You're pretty good. Yeah, you're keeping it down. But do it like somebody who's really weak. What would they do? They kind of actually lift the hip up.
Oh, on this side, right?
That's what somebody weak would do. If you're not strong enough, you use other muscles to bring the leg out to the side.
So this way.
So that's how you tell. It's a little tough. Now a therapist would measure you, all right, and use a strength test. But for you at home, this is kind of a quick way to see. Just look in front of the mirror, see if in fact you can lift your leg without letting your hip come up in the air.
Hip hike in the air.
Yep,
like
yep.
that.
And if it does, you could be weak. Also, if you have that tightness in the hip, you could be using those deep muscles instead of the big gluteal muscles. All right. So go ahead, tell us what we can do to make it stronger.
Here's 2 easy exercises that you can do to help strengthen, especially those lateral glutes, the ones that help you move side to side. So the first one is just some side walking.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you without a band and then with a band.
Okay.
So you can just kind of get the weight into your heels a little, bend your knees just a bit, and you're going to take side steps. A pretty big step to the side without letting your trunk lean side to side at all. So you want to just smoothly move to the side, this way and back to center. So if you're in a little bit of a squat, you're gonna feel your legs working, both a little in your thighs, but a lot in your hips. Now to advance that, if you just get a TheraBand or a band, any type of elastic band with some resistance, place it around your ankles and then step, keeping tension in the band. You're gonna get a lot more strength in your hips. This is a little bit loose. Yeah, this is, it should not fall down in between. So I would tie the loop a little bit smaller than this. So when I was stepping, there was constant tension in the band.
Perfect.
And you can go until you feel like you're getting a kind of a fatigue sensation in the glute area. I think you should actually go until you feel that sensation on the steps. So you wanna go each direction. Don't worry as much about counting steps. Just go until you feel like you're a little tired, wanna shake it out a little bit, take a break, and then go one more time. And again, on this exercise 3 times a week, so you get a little recovery time in between. The other exercise I like is called a Stork, and it's at the wall. And this one looks like you're doing nothing, but it's actually kind of challenging. So you're gonna come into the wall sideways, and the leg closest to the wall is gonna lift up, and you're gonna press your knee into the wall. And as you press your knee into the wall, the glute on your stance leg lights right up. And I feel that, I really feel that engaging. And that's a really nice way to put low load on the hip joint itself, but really get a good strengthening exercise for the glutes. And this you can hold 5-6 seconds, take a break, do about 10 on each side. So those 2 exercises can get you started on some glute strengthening. Any comments on those?
No, I think they're wonderful. Those are perfect.
All right, I hope you found those valuable, and those are your exercises for aging well.